BugeyeBob back here at you. Sorry I'm late getting this video out. I'm going to take a couple of weeks vacation. I've been working on this thing for 63 weeks now, roughly. So I need to step back, take some time away from it, and just have a little bit of downtime. I'm going to try to get out another video for next week, but I wanted to go over one thing this week that had been driving me nuts, and that was, how the hell did they get this rear end all assembled? Because it seemed like every time I started looking at where the spot welds were, it was, well, before you can put that piece in, you got to put this piece in, and before you can put that in, you've got to put this other piece in, but before you can put the other piece in, you got to put that first piece in. So it was driving me nuts. I was asked to do a presentation about the bug eyes for the Panhandle British Car Association meeting. And in the process of going through that, I managed to come across some 2007, I think it was, pictures where they were actually assembling frames or unit bodies or monocoque bodies, whatever you want to call it, for probably, I don't know if they were for the sprites. They might have been for the Mark II sprites and the MG midgets and things like that. But they kind of showed some information, so they kind of explained things. And then I did a little bit of testing and found out that I think I know how it was done. So let's go over that. So the first thing that kind of threw me was, you've got all these pieces here that are spot welded to each other, and then this is spot welded to here. On the body, this wing panel, they call it, or we'd call it a rear quarter panel or rear fender, whatever. And it seemed like whichever way I looked, some part had to be put in before another part could be put in, but it was impossible because some other part had to go in first. What I did finally figure out was, for the most part, you could have this and this and this panel here and a little sub panel here. That all seemed to go together, but then how could you fit this outer shell around it? And I think I figured out the answer for that. So what I've done is I've gone in and drawn circles every place there are spot welds. So if you look up in here, there's spot welds up in here. Hopefully you can see that, all of these points. And my first thought was, well, there's no way in hell you can get in there. So I grabbed my spot welder, which has 18-inch arms on it, and I found that with mine, I could get at least as far as right about here. And then I thought, you know what? If the factory bent those arms slightly different, they would be able to get back here. And then they would be able to get all of these spot weld points through here. That left me with, well, there's a piece across the top here. I thought that this cross piece up here was welded to the rear deck, and then it was all welded in, and then I realized, no, I don't think so, because maybe you could come up through this hole and weld it here. I suppose you could do that with the right type of equipment. Yeah, I guess you could. Or maybe this was all spot welded to this first, and then it was put in as a unit. Now, if you look real close right here, you'll see these ones that are circled in blue. Anything that's circled in silver is a spot weld. Anything that's circled in blue is a different type of weld. And that kind of drove me nuts for a while, because they were in places that how are you going to get a spot welder up into this corner? That pinches together too much. And then I suddenly thought, that doesn't even look like a spot weld. And I kind of decided that those are gas welds. And the reason I decided they're gas welds, I will show you right now. If we look at these welds closely, they've got kind of a weird puddle to them. I mean, they don't look like, they're not stick welds, they're not MIG welds, they're not TIG welds, but that puddle is what you would get from gas welding. So I'm pretty sure that this piece here was actually gas welded to this one, because you can do that without, having access to the back side, and they did use a lot of gas welding back then. So that's how I think that was done. And in fact, right there is another gas weld. Gas welds look kind of like somebody muddled solder onto it, but it's hard like steel. So that's why I'm pretty sure they're gas welds. So once they had these things all assembled in the jig, where you had your boot deck, you had your braces here, you had your inner and outer wheel wells welded together, this panel here welded to them, your rear bulkhead, your cockpit bulkhead here, you had your drive shaft tunnel here. All of that was all welded together. Then they took this outer part, which is your rear deck, your left and right quarter panels, or wings as they call them, and they started spot welding that all together. They also welded on these pieces, which hold the mounts for the door latch, and then they slid that over the already assembled other parts and started pinch welding, spot welding these things together down around like so. And I'm sure that at the same time, they would have come in and hit those spots there. So that makes it real easy then to come around and spot weld this outer wheel well to the quarter panel, spot weld it to this outer sill, come around inside here, spot weld all of these spots around here, all the way down the rear, back into the rear of the car. And one thing that did confuse me a little bit was up inside of here, there's a bracket that this piece mounts to. And my mind was thinking, well, how the hell did they spot? Well, that would have to be spot welded to the rear of this, and then to the floor. And then I got looking at it, and it's like, well, no, actually, you don't have to do that, because all you've got to do is bolt that piece to this. And I actually started looking for spot welds and didn't find any. So this piece appears to have been bolted to this back trunk or back rear end area, and then slid into place, and it would have been bolts run up through the floor pan here, rear deck pan rather, and screwed down, and that would have locked that all in place. So, and you can see that all of this, you can see all of this here would have just all fit together, and then they could pinch weld it, spot weld it, whatever you want to call it. So I'm pretty sure that's how it was built. I will include a couple of pictures that show what I found as far as how they were assembling these monocoque bodies in 2007. And please like, share, subscribe. If you can join as a member on Patreon, $4 a month, greatly appreciated. Plan to come back refreshed and hopefully get into some other things. I still have to learn how to do streaming videos, and hope to be able to set up and do some streaming videos over on Patreon, maybe on YouTube, I don't know. YouTube doesn't pay me a damn dime. Any money I'm getting right now is through the kind people on Patreon. So that's about it for this week, and I'll try to get a small video out for next week, but like I said, I am going to take a couple weeks off just to, number one, it's just hot as hell in Pensacola in August, and things start cooling down in September, so get through the hot part of August, and things will start cooling down a little bit. But I also need some time just kind of away from this to refresh and recuperate. So thank you very much for watching. BugeyeBob, over and out. Well, folks, that's it for this episode of BugeyeBob. I really appreciate you watching and hope that, like me, you've learned a few things to do, or maybe not to do, in this episode. Please like and comment on this video, as it encourages YouTube to share it with others and helps grow the channel. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell to get notified when new videos are released. If you'd like to support this channel and save Lazarus from the recycle furnace, you can now make a one-time or recurring donation through PayPal. You can also support this restoration project by becoming a member at patreon.com/BugeyeBob. Patreon members get early access to the videos, and in the future will enjoy question and answer sessions and live streams. As this channel grows, future Patreon member benefits will include bonus or extended videos, member names in the credits, and the ability to suggest topics for future videos. You can follow this BugeyeBob restoration on YouTube and Facebook. You'll find the links in the description below for PayPal, Patreon, YouTube, and Facebook. Once again, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and supporting this channel.